The next business structure is the LLC, or the Limited Liability Corporation. LLCs are often described as hybrid business forms because it combines the liability protection of a corporation but the simplicity of a partnership. So, as the name suggests, it offers liability protection to its owners for the company debts and the liabilities. Simple and it's flexible, offers the liability, as I said, without that complex corporation structure or any of the corporation rules. Simplicity made it very popular among small businesses. The LLC can elect to be taxed as either a partnership or as a corporation, whichever more advantage to them. An LLC can be managed like a partnership or it can be managed like a corporation. So LLCs can create a board of directors, they can have a president and officers just like the corporation. They can choose to have periodic meetings of their members, or they can choose to ignore that type of thing. The limited liability corporation is a new business form, so one of the disadvantages is the courts have not yet developed a body of legal precedent governing the LLCs. So the LLC owners and professionals may face operating questions and issues for which they have little or no legal guidance. Corporations have been around for a really long time, so proprietorships have been around for a really long time. They've got a lot of legal precedents behind them. So that being said, though, it's lessened as the states are developing a reliable body of law concerning the LLCs. So it's not an issue at all for like really small companies. So any companies that wish to pursue venture capital or accumulate large number of shareholders, eventually pursue initial public offering, the LLC is not appropriate for that. So you want to actually go with a corporation. Venture capitalists and angel investors also tend to shy away from investing in LLCs. So that might change, but right now all of the large publicly held companies are going to be corporations and not LLCs. The cost for setting up an LLC is roughly equivalent to setting up a corporation. The state filing fees, the articles of organization, the filing for your annual reports are pretty much the same from LLC to corporation. And then if you're setting up a really complex LLC and you go through an attorney to do so, which is highly recommended, you're going to find the fees are about the same for that or a corporation. Big advantages of the LLC. The LLCs don't require the annual meetings. They require much fewer forms than a corporation. Owners are protected from personal liability for the company debts and obligations. LLCs enjoy partnership style taxation, which is favorable in many small business cases. Disadvantages of an LLC is they don't have, like I said, the legal body precedent to back them up. There's LLCs not appropriate for businesses looking to become public eventually or to raise capital or angel investors. LLCs are more expensive than just a regular partnership, and they do require annual fees and periodic filings with the state. And then some states don't allow the organization of LLCs for certain professional vocations, so you want to check with your state and see what's allowed. The last structure is a corporation. Now, a corporation is a legal person in the eyes of the law. So it can bring lawsuits, it can buy and sell property, it can sign a contract, it can be taxed, and it can even commit a crime. The most notable features of a corporation is it protects its owners from personal liability for corporate debts and obligations. It also has a perpetual life. When shareholders pass or leave a corporation, they can transfer their shares to other people who continue the corporation's business. Corporation's owned by its shareholders, it's managed by its board of directors, and in a lot of cases, it's operated by its officers. The shareholders can elect directors who in turn appoint the corporate officers. In small corporations, the same person may serve several roles of like a shareholder, director, and an officer. Corporations are the best for raising investment capital. So a corporation seeking to raise capital needs only to sell shares of its stock. Purchasing shareholders pay cash or property for the stock, and then they become part owners in the corporation. Of course, the sale of corporate stock is heavily regulated by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and by state statutes. A corporation's members must observe specific rules on a corporation's operation and administration. Meetings of shareholders and directors must be documented correctly. There's a lot of rules that go into it, so I highly recommend you consult a lawyer when you're setting one of these up. And finally, they have to report annually the state of incorporation to where and in any states where they do significant amount of business. Some advantages of a corporation: owners are protected from personal liability for company debts and obligations. Corporations have the reliable body of legal precedent, unlike the limited liability. Corporations are the best vehicles for becoming eventually a public company. They can more easily raise capital through just the sale of their stocks. They can transfer ownership very easily just by transferring the stocks. Corporations have an unlimited life. They can go on forever as long as they make money. And corporations create tax benefits under certain circumstances. So you want to talk to your accountant about that. Disadvantages: corporations require annual meetings and require owners and directors to observe certain rules. Corporations are more expensive to set up than any of the other types, and corporations require annual fees and filings with the state. What should be in your business plan? Mostly you need to map out the structure of your business, provide a brief description of each position within your business from the CEO all the way to the mailroom clerk, and indicate who holds what position. If you don't have any staff yet, but you do intend to hire someone, when you have the money, then describe the staff positions that you desire to have. Then you need to provide information on the distribution of ownership. So like if you have a sole proprietorship, that's easy, it's just you. But if you have a corporation, who's going to own it? How are you going to decide shareholders? So you need to define your entity, what type of a company you are. Then you need to name every owner in the business, all the percentage ownerships and the form of ownerships that they have. So that they are partners, so if you've got a partnership or an LLC partnership, or is it a corporation? And so you have stockholders. Additionally, describe the extent of each owner's involvement in the daily practices of the businesses, and include any information regarding the business's outstanding equity or common stock, anything that you already have outstanding. Then you should have the profiles. You may have a number of people on your staff, but you only need to provide more detailed information on two main groups: the owners or managers of the company, and the board of directors if you have one. So for the owners and managers, in addition to their name, you need to provide the following information: a description of the position they hold and the responsibilities and authority of that position, their education, skills, and achievements, their employment history, community involvement, any industry recognition they've got, the amount of time with the company, and what type of compensation that they're going to have or that they do have, and then how that person contributes to the success of the company. For the board of directors, you need to provide the following information: their name and position, how they're involved with the business outside of the board meetings, any background information like education and experience, the contributions to the company in the past or in the present, or what you intend for the future. So simply obtaining a resume for each owner, manager, and board member will of course suffice, but you'll need to contain those in an appendix section, and then use the organization and management section to summarize the points covered above. And that covers it. That's everything you need for your business structure section. I hope this helps you out in your future endeavors. And thank you for listening. This is your business coach, Jason Porter. Have a good one.